It is starting to get freaking hot in that dome. Whew, right now it's 69 degrees. Today high of 78. We've got about a 2-hour window before the severe thunderstorms get here. So we're gonna have to move quick on this one. Hi-ho, friends! I decided to opt out and putting in the ventilation system for the dome. So this is probably going to be the last video in the series. Let me explain. Last night I was doing a little bit of research trying to figure out what I wanted to cover the dome with. Originally I wanted to use Marina fabric with the PVC coating. That stuff is freaking expensive per square foot. Not going to go with it. After doing some more research, I discovered that billboard vinyl, almost the same material, is made to last from 5 to 10 years, and I can buy it dirt cheap online, and I can make a new cover out of the dome. Now, I got to show you why I opted out of the ventilation system. Come on in with me, friends, and I'll show you. First, we need to grab our pointing stick, and we're going to use a storm bar for that. The original idea was to lift the bottom of that flap, lift the bottom of that flap, and that flap right there so our air would come in. Up here at the very top of the dome, I was going to build a octagon box, put in an exhaust fan right there, use some 4-inch dryer vent, bring it down here, and then right there put in another box and vent out the back and put another fan in it, which would have been okay. But then I got this new idea after discovering I could use billboard vinyl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole here in the shape of a triangle. And notice we're using the big side of the triangle. That way, when I seal it up, the rain would drain down it. And we're going to use zippers and Velcro. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this triangle. Over here towards the front of the dome, you're going to notice this triangle here. We're going to do the same thing there. And come around here and do the exact same thing here, which I cannot do with the poly tarp. There's just no way. It would destroy the structural integrity of it if I started cutting holes. So we're going to do that with the Marina vinyl. That's why we're going to go ahead and pull the dome down today. So this is going to be a fun project. Real time, this would take about an hour for me to do. Because we're filming, we're going to be looking at about 2.5 hours possibly. So the first thing we need to do is pull out all the inside tent stakes. I found the easiest way to do this project is a big freaking pair of pliers. Except for this guy. Something I want to point out real quick, and if I use this cover again, I'm going to have to attach this poly tarp to this poly tarp. But when I did the overnight in it in the storm, when the wind was blowing through, it was trying to separate these two tarps. And if it would have done that, it would have ripped these two apart. It would have ripped the seam apart. Because the seam can take the pulling pressure, you know, the tension, but not the lifting. It would come undone. Now we're going to pull our ground anchors. Once I do this, we're past the point of no return, and we need to get this cover off before that storm rolls in. That's where these pliers come in freaking handy. Okay, these are only a foot down in the ground. If you're building one of these for Burning Man, you need to be 3+ foot on your ground anchor. Now, getting those out of the ground that long can be a pain in the butt. You can use channel locks, or what we did is we got some old bumper jacks, the real old school ones, and put underneath there, got the stake up a little bit, put it underneath there, then use the old bumper jack to take it out. If it is still stuck in the ground, instead of hitting it with the hammer, you can drop water down beside each one of those and it will loosen the ground up. The best way to get these out is pull them out the exact same way you put them in, straight up, and they'll come out with no problems at all. And then of course, I'm starting to sweat. It's getting a little warm out. Then of course, we got to pull off our mounting brackets. We're gonna set all these steaks out here in the sun and let them sunbake and dry and get as much mud off of them as possible, because if we don't, they're gonna rust when I put them away for storage, and that's not gonna be good. Next step is we're gonna remove the hold points from up here, over here, and then all the tie downs on the inside. But very important, we're going to leave the dome attached to the frame just in case. This is something very important I need to point out. The way this cover is attached is it goes to the four struts right here, and then if you look here, I've got a washer on the back and then a nut. Once we pull this out, we really lose a lot of the integrity of a dome. So if a storm or a heavy wind would blow through now, it would not be a good thing. So we need to be real careful from this point on out. Now we're going to disconnect the cover from the frame with these tie outs I put on there. Something very important, this doorway is only supported by this top strut, so you kind of need to be careful when you're taking that apart. Now I'm making sure that the dome cover has been completely detached from the frame. That means on the inside, make sure I didn't leave any brackets for the illumination or the lighting or anything attached to the frame anywhere. We are clear on the inside. Now we're going to come out here, low bridge, and we're going to detach the cover from the frame, and the wind is starting to come up, so this should be pretty freaking interesting. Folding up the cover is not that hard. It's just really important to try to keep all your pancakes flat, not in any of the creases. Another thing I did that really helped is I removed the cover from the inside. I started picking it up from the back, brought it all the way forward, and then put all the cover right here on this strut, came out front, and then kept a center line as I dropped it down to the ground, and then kept my center line up here, the round portion here, staked the little guy down, and then we're all folded up. I just went and checked the radar. We've roughly got 45 minutes before the dry line gets here. So we're going to be moving pretty quick from here on out. Anyway, normally I would clean all the mud off of these, but since we're kind of rushed for time right now, that's just not going to happen. Another thing, and this is a quick tip, always buy extra bolts, washers, nuts. I like to buy 20 over just in case. Now this is a dome builder kit, so I've got a lot of spare items in here to put a dome together with. But very important, always buy extras, because you will lose some when you put the dome together and take it down. It's always nice to have extras laying around when you need them. I'm going to share a tip with you real quick. For some reason, a lot of people build the domes from the bottom up. I like to build mine from the top down. It's just a heck of a lot easier. You just need something to support the dome with when you do that. I use an old lighting stand. I've seen people use ladders. They work great. But putting that in the center of the dome takes the pressure off the struts and the hubs, and nothing cracks. This should take about 20 minutes to take down, which is probably a good thing, because if you look off in the distance, you could kind of see the dry line moving in on us. Talk about getting things done in the nick of time. It has started raining. All right, we're all packed up. Okay, I got a couple quick tips for you. First one, you notice the red tape, that is for the spares. I've got the, well, they're not here right now. I already took them up to the storage unit. But then I got the extras are in black tape. All the struts are grouped up, so we got all our reds, the blues, so it's easier to set up, and then all our door pieces right here are all grouped up. Another quick tip, do not use heavy duty duct tape, because it'll do this. It leaves a residue on the poles. It's a pain to get off, and when it heats up again, it sticks to the freaking cover, which is not good. Got to be kind of careful. This is covering the stairwell to my cellar. Do not want to fall through. Well, friends, this is going to wrap up the video series on the dome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there will be a second series, yes. When I get the billboard material, I will do a video series on that. In there, I'm going to talk about cutting the patterns, how to attach two pieces of vinyl together. It's either going to be done by sewing, heat treated, or chemical. And let's see. Also, I'll be covering putting in the grommets, how to fit it onto the dome, where I'm going to put the windows, and so on and so forth. You kind of get the idea. Okay, questions and comments are more than welcome. Heads up, I am winging it on this project. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try to answer them as best as possible. And it's getting ready to rain. Like always, friends, thanks for watching.
The National Weather Service in Pleasant Hill has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Carroll County, western Saline County, eastern Lafayette County until 4 p.m. At 3:13 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Mayview or near Higginsville, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail.